Remember back before you had a business when getting on social media apps used to be fun? Today I'm going to show you how to clean up your social media workflow so you can more effectively post on Instagram and Facebook. I'm also going to show you 5 secret ninja tricks to repurpose your content. Let's go. Hey there, welcome back to episode 82 here on the Ashlyn Writes channel. My name is Ashlyn Carter, and I think people are surprised to hear how little time I actually spend on social media, at least for someone who runs their entire business on the internet and also works in the digital space as a conversion copywriter for creative entrepreneurs. I would just personally rather get everything scheduled so when I do get on different social media apps, it's purely for fun. Or I can step away a little bit from the apps if I know they're not a real healthy place for me to be at the moment. I have to market my business online and use the tools that are available to me to do that. But you may have heard me say it's important to me to build a business that can run when I can't. For me, this means making sure that I'm not spending an unhealthy time on social media all in the name of marketing my business. Hit that like button if you've ever felt like that, or you can give an amen heck yes to that. Before we start talking about your social media workflow, 2 things. Number 1, have you subscribed to this channel yet? If you aren't, look down below, hit that button and the bell beside it so you can be notified when these videos drop every single Tuesday. That also helps me so much when you hit subscribe so I can keep up videos like this. Secondly, where should you keep your editorial calendar? This is a question that my students ask me all the time. So I'm going to show you behind the scenes of the tool that I use. This is behind the scenes of CoSchedule, the tool that we use for editorial calendaring. And I like it. It's my tool of choice for housing everything, basically because I love to be able to see it all in one place. So in here, I can load in my big, what I call my hero piece of content every week like this. So for example, I can open it up. And this is where I have attached the Google Doc for this. The workflow is in here. I also like that I can color code things according to what category in my business it goes in. I can add descriptions as well. So let's close this. Something else I wanted to show you is this drawer on the side. So when I have ideas about things that I could publish, I just don't know where on the calendar they're going to go, I can add them in here and then just drag them out when I would like to talk about them. So whether it is a blog post or even a social media message that I want to put at some point, I can drag those in when I want them to publish. Let me close that again. So I don't have Pinterest in here. I prefer to use Tailwind for Pinterest, but as far as Facebook, blog, editorial calendar, emails, and when those are going out, any LinkedIn and a little bit of Twitter can be in here, for me at least. Again, I just like to see things all at once. So if I just wanted to see social media messages, I could pull that up. If I just wanted to see things that have to do with life and not business that I'm posting about, I can see that as well. I started using CoSchedule like one of my first few months in business. I was less than 6 months in business and I quit. I thought that for what I was getting, I could probably figure out and jerry-rig a better system myself using free tools. And I tried and came crawling back about a year ago to use CoSchedule again. Why I like it so much is that not only can I see everything in one spot, but I can also go in and schedule directly for something to post to that platform. Let's head back over and let me show you how I would schedule a post to go up on Facebook. And I will say too, I think I've heard in the past that if you schedule things natively inside Facebook's post schedule on your Facebook page, it will perform a little better. To be honest, I haven't seen too much of a downtick in engagement through posting over here, so I continue to use it. So what I'm going to do is click that plus sign, click social, and I'm going to say social message. I'll tell you about social campaign in a moment. I'm going to click the social profile, so you can also post in your groups, but let's say to the page, and I can add whatever information I want. So let's do an image. I think I've already got some images loaded in. Yeah, let's get old Rachel Bilson from the OC. We'll use this. Something, I'm just being silly. So then what I would do down here, what I like is that I can schedule this to post at the best time of the day based on the algorithm and what my audience sees. So I can schedule that, or I can give it a little bit more parameters in which to post. A custom time, if I want to do that, can save the date, and then I'm going to schedule this just for purposes of this, but if I just wanted it to be a draft, wasn't really sure if I wanted this, if somebody on my team needed to review it, I could click that. Like I told you earlier, you can color code things, so I can do that right here. That just goes for seeing it on my calendar. That doesn't really do anything with the post. So there, I can post it. You can do full videos, you can do a link, you can do just text alone,
And yeah, so all I'm going to click then is add message, and you will see that it will go ahead and publish to post up here. So there it is. That is scheduled to go. You can already see I've got some things posted for the week, and that is why I like scheduling things in this tool. You can do that on any of the social media platforms that you have plugged in.
Now, I don't love CoSchedule for Instagram for a few reasons, but my favorite tool that I've found that is helpful for planning out an Instagram feed is Plan with 2 N's. This is an app called Plan. You can use it on desktop or mobile, which I really like. So when we open it up, what I have loved is that I can pre-bulk upload all of the images into the different categories that I want to actually talk about. You can set the topics that you want to try to hit and try to rotate through those. And then the best part, my very favorite part, is that you can type directly inside the platform for your post. So here's where I batch write all my different posts for the week. No matter what tools you choose to use for your social media workflow, why be anal and plan out this all in advance? Well, that takes us into this next part of the video. You want to make darn sure that you're promoting your content in multiple places because people miss things constantly. Hate to break it to you, but no one reads every single one of your Instagram posts, reads every single caption and email that you send out, reads every single line in your blog posts. No one's doing that. So having a solid, effective social media workflow in place to help you leverage all that content that you're creating is paramount. It also takes some of the emotion out of that real-time posting or stressing when you're going into launch mode and everything is not teed up yet. You can also, in advance, look at engagement. What has been performing well? What's worked? What's not worked so well for you? But what I really like is how this allows me to go in real time and engage and show up when it definitely matters instead of posting and ghosting. Not only do we know now that strategically the apps aren't rewarding post and ghost behavior, but it's way more fun to get on the apps when you're not stressing out about what your next post is. So what are some ninja tips to setting up your social media workflow and reposting your content? Let's go. Ninja social media workflow step number 1 is to plan out some themes for your days. This starts with knowing what tools you would like to be on, so start there. For me, again, Pinterest I consider more of a search engine, so if we're just talking about the platforms, that will be Facebook, Instagram, and a very tiny bit of LinkedIn and a little bit of Twitter. In setting up these theme days, you don't have to do this on all of those platforms, but again, it helps me. This is one of my ninja tricks for crushing your social media workflows. If you always know that on Tuesdays you're going to post your latest blog or video, and then you choose your Thursday theme to be shouting out someone or celebrating a vendor or a partner or an affiliate, then it's a whole lot easier to know what to write on each day when you batch content. If you haven't watched my video yet on day batching, I will link it up here and down below, but this is one of the things that I talk about that I do on my Marketing Mondays. Batch and write all of my social media posts. This is a great way to create consistency and really get known for a certain type of brand message or brand story. You're able to drill down and knock out a bunch of this content copywriting at once instead of just opening up these tools and writing when you feel like it, or worse, when you're under stress. So that's step 1. Step number 2 is to set up a repurposing rhythm for your big piece of content every single week. My students inside Prime to Launch know that I talk you through how to set up your hero piece of content, and this is what I'm talking about here. So what I do is I have my one big hero piece of content that goes out every single week. For me, it used to just be a big blog post. Now it's the blog post and this video that you're watching right now. When it publishes, I have a workflow rhythm that is then triggered, and let me tell you what that looks like. It will share on the day of and drive to that link. Then 4 days after, I will share the full video. 15 days after, I will share a GIF and then another link to go check it out. And then 27 days after initial publish, I will push to the blog with an image. Every single time a video drops, that workflow is triggered. I like to do this in a tool in CoSchedule called Social Campaigns. Let me show you what that looks like.
All right, let me show you how this feature called Social Campaign works. So I have a video going live on this day. This is the video. This is the YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and see what it would look like to schedule in what we're going to call a social campaign. So I'm going to click this, and we'll call this social media videos. This is the video that you're watching now. This is how I planned out when it would post on my social media accounts. Social media video campaign. Cool. And productivity. All right. What I love about this is that you can create, so I could build out an entirely custom like little campaign here. I wanted to say funnel, that's not the right word. So I could build that out, or the best part is I can come in with a template. So you can create these templates. This is one that I already have ready to go. Let me show you what it looks like behind the scenes. So if I wanted to edit it, I just click that pin, and this is how I set it up from the top. Remember how I mentioned that the first day it goes out here, then that Friday, this is what happens, the full video posts. 15 days after, a GIF to the link, and then finally the blog post and a link. Okay, what happens is I schedule those out by just pressing the plus button and adding the copy, but it's over here that I can add in what they call social helpers. So all I do is I can add text, image, and video helpers. So I give them pretty specific names so I can remember which one goes with which video. This is the first Facebook copy, and it will go here. And the permalink I add at the top. I'll show you that when we go to plan it. The full copy for the Facebook post, for the GIF, for the blog, and then I have LinkedIn and Twitter copy spelled out too. Now for the images, I've got a shareable image, a GIF from the video, the thumbnail of the video, the full video, and then a little trailer. Okay, so I have all of these. Now remember, this is just my template build out. So this is all here ready to go. I'm not making any edits to this template, so I'm gonna click close. But now I'm ready to build out the campaign for this. So I'm gonna click video campaign template, and we're gonna see it load in. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put in the link. So put the YouTube link here, or if you were driving to your blog post, you would put that there. And then I'm just going to go in and fill out the copy. So just playing around. Now this will be going on Facebook a few days later, so I'm going to say, I'm being really bad with copy, FYI. I'm just like showing this as a demo. Okay, so on and so forth. So I would fill out all of these, and I would plug in the images as well. Add a thumbnail. I'm pretty sure I have a bunch loaded in already. Yep, okay, so here is a thumbnail that I used recently. Now what happens when I click apply is that it will have these scheduled out with that copy pulled in. See how I went ahead and pulled that in? And that is how it works. So when I would be ready, I would click publish it. I'm just gonna click close and come out of here right now. Okay, and you'll see already how these are pre-scheduled. Remember, I didn't fill them out completely. Go back. But you can see how they pop up. So there's this one, there's all the ones on this day. Let's go ahead and see. Remember how I do them a few days down the road. Boom, here's another one. Remember, I didn't fill it out, so it's not going to show fully. And then there's the last one. So that is how social campaign works. And all I do is every single time I go to post that, so it could be for your pillar piece of content, whether it is a blog, a podcast episode, a YouTube video, you can create a social campaign and have that scheduled out. Now that is an add-on to CoSchedule, but I think it's worth it because it just automates it, and I don't have to go in every single time and count all those days. It does it for me.
Step number 3 to be more efficient with your social media workflow is to take stock of and repurpose any content that could be considered evergreen. There's probably so much that you're just posting once when it could totally be repurposed, repackaged, and used again. I recently posted an Instagram that I had initially posted back in 2018. I just updated the copy and imagery, my thoughts on the topic now, refreshed it, and shared it again. It performed really well. Now there are a lot of tools out there that do this well. Tools like Meet Edgar and CoSchedule. You also need to be careful with it a little bit. I don't think that this works really well for platforms like Twitter, but I do think that you can go back and look at your content and see how you can pull out bits of it and repurpose it. Let me show you one way that you could do this inside CoSchedule with a tool called REQ.
There's an add-on that you can do in CoSchedule. So say that there are things that are evergreen content that you just want to go ahead and pull in. You can do that here. So for example, I like to share quotes that I've been thinking about, so I can just pull those in and it will automatically schedule them into my calendar. Let me show you how to do that. So you can just add a new REQ message. Again, I would like pull in the quote image that I wanted to share. Yes, just playing. And then I just turn it on to green, and that is when it is firing away. I can set the dates that I want it to go out on, and so on and so forth. So I will always have a stock ready of posts that will go out on Evergreen.
And then just step number 4 is to go into your editorial calendar and add any notes that may override those theme days that we talked about back in tip 1. Now, especially if you're automating, which I hope that you've seen at this point will be really helpful for you, making note of things you need to talk about or of the moment posts is a great way to make sure that this whole editorial calendar thing isn't looking so robotic and automated. Again, I do this in the post schedule, but you can do this in whatever tool it is that you're using for your EdCal. The last thing I do before I batch write on Mondays is glance over the past week, see what performed well and what didn't perform so great. I will glance at both plan and co-schedule to do this. Now, I'm not making a huge data pool or like trends and charts of this. I'm just making myself aware before I move into writing the next week's big chunk of content. You're going to use these rhythms that you've set up to be more efficient in your content production. So on Mondays, I'll sit down and I will make sure that there is some sort of post scheduled to go out each day that week. And if I have a little extra time or I have launch coming up or I'm going out of town, I'll see how far I can get ahead. Then each morning as part of my rest to work wind-up routine, I'm just spending a couple of minutes reviewing that day's Facebook and Instagram post and just making sure everything is ready. So if I hate it or if I change my mind, I have a chance to go in and change it before it goes live, which is nice. All of this sets me up to be able to spend the rest of my week on the social media platforms for fun, responding to people as much as I'm able to without losing hours on end on these apps. You want to make sure you're not putting all the work into figuring out all this content and then actually never showing up on these tools to talk to people, right? I don't have the biggest accounts in the world, but this does help me spend the time I do have to try to get back to people and to share any user-generated content. And a workflow like this helps me be off these platforms. Again, I love these tools, love these apps, but I can only take so much before I know that I'm not being healthy nor productive and I need to walk away from them. Now you know how to set up a more effective social media workflow in your business, but if you're really serious about getting more efficient in your creative business, I have a free training for you. This is my workshop all about time well designed, how to get more done and freed up to focus as a creative. All you need to do is look down below, find that link and grab your seat inside. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. As always, thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next video.